Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Saqinah Binti Sanusi. My metric number is 271148. I will talk about the issue in housing loans based on the Syariah perspective. Islam has said the purpose and goal of Syariah is to guide its people to enjoy a good and perfect life. Maqasid Syariah promise the care of the mind, property, life and learning if what is commanded by Allah through the Quran and Sunnah is followed properly. The goal of Syariah is also guarantee the right and interest of human beings in life while rejecting the cruel and distraction. One of the ways to achieve this Syariah goal is by meeting the needs and demands of life such as shelter, food and education. Home or residence is one of the necessities of life that must be met for every individual. Therefore, to build a house requires a large amount of funds. To cover the funds, most of us will get funding from banking institution or other institution. But it should be reminded not to get involved in housing loans that involve conventionally, as it is not based on Islamic Sharia compliant. Among the issue in conventional housing loan operation is the issue of usury, or so-called as the interest. Lending is one of the most important function in the conventional banking business. This is because for the conventional financial system, lending is the main source of income. The income is obtained from the interest charged on each loan issue. Basically, in this type of credit market instrument, the borrower will get a principal amount provided by a conventional bank. The borrower then has to make the repayment to the bank in installment. The issue of usury arise because the conventional system is based on the concept of borrowers and lender. The lender, which is the bank, when lending money, for example a housing loan, will charge a higher repayment amount than what is given to the borrower. The additional fee charged is interest taken by the lender in the name of interest. It is also something that is effected by the concept of last cost in economics. Islam views usury in economics activities and its prohibition is very strict. This Islamic attitude aims to practice and preserve the interests of all human beings in the term of social and economics morality. Muslim scholars have revealed some of the secret behind the ban. Riba means committing an act by taking human property without giving any compensation. Practicing riba will bring destruction to the welfare of the people in the problem of borrowing. Repayment of loans that contain usurious practice will cause hardship to borrowers and cut off the sense of mutual help and cooperation among the community. The second issues in the issues of gharar. The second issue is the issue of gharar. Gharar can be defined as a danger, betting, cheating or deceiving, not knowing and covering all matter, and fraud and the like to achieve one purpose, which is obtain a thing or property in a wrong and inappropriate manner. In Islamic legal term, gharar is forbidden because it contains elements of doubt that are likely to cause misunderstanding between the buyer and the seller. The issue of gharar arises when the interest charged by the bank on a loan is based on the ever fluctuation cost of funds. Gharar in banking can be seen from the interest system charged on each transaction. For example, in this housing loan, the prescribed interest charge is a type of gharar that exchange obligation between one party to another. For example, when applying for a loan with a bank for a business with an interest charge of 10%, if the business made a profit of 100% or more, then the borrower will make a profit because it only pays interest of 10%. Meanwhile, if the business suffers a loss, it will become a bond by itself. and the bank will not care about the condition. When the maturity period, the borrower must return the loan funds along with the interest charge as if it has fallen down the stairs. So the risks are exchanged. For the conventional system, usury is not an issue, while the ambiguity of the interest rate that is qarar is just a challenge in economy uncertainty. If the economy is stable and the cost of funds does not increase, then the issue of ambiguity and uncertainty will not arise. A string of issues that will occur if making a housing loan conventionally. So, as a Muslim, it is obligatory to avoid getting involved in such loans. Therefore, the Islamic financial system in Malaysia has created Sharia compliant housing loans to assist the community in owning a home, which is more accurately called Islamic home financing. The first Islamic housing financing was by Bitaman Ajil. By Bitaman Ajil housing financing is based on the concept of sale and purchase. The bank will buy the house at the market price, then sell it to the customer at a mutual agreed price. This price is the original purchase cost by the bank plus the total profit. A term and amount of installment payment is then agreed by the bank and the customer. No interest is charged on this purchase. Typically, the buyer enters into a sale and purchase contract with the developer and pays a deposit amount. Usually, is 10% of the purchase price. Next, the buyer applied for by Bitaman Ajil financing to cover the balance of the house payment. The buyer then has to enter into an agreement with the Islamic banking party, namely the property purchase agreement, that is PPA. For this agreement, the buyer is required to sell a beneficial interest in the purpose purchase from the developer to Islamic banking. Next, the buyer needs to enter into another agreement with the bank, namely the property sale agreement, that is PSA. In this agreement, the Islamic banking party agrees to resell the beneficial property to the buyer at a predetermined price. Usually, the new price is twice the original price, and the buyer is required to pay in installments the total purchase price within a specified period. The second Islamic housing financing is Musyarakah Mutanakisah. Musyarakah Mutanakisah housing financing is based on the concept of mutual partnership. In this contract, both of the bank and the customer jointly buy equity, right, and benefit in a house or property. The bank then lease out part of the property. While the property is still under construction, the concept of ijarah mausufa fi zimma, that is forward rental, is used while when the property is complete. The concept of ijarah, that is rental, is applied. The customer will make a monthly payment to the bank to gradually purchase the bank's share of initial ownership right and benefit in the property. Part of this payment contribute to an increase in the customer's share in the property and a reduction in the bank share until the customer owns all the property. This financing ends when the customer owns 100% of the property. There are several advantages of taking Islamic home financing compared to conventional loans. Among them are clear and fixed repayment amount, cheaper late payment charge, lower stamp duty cost, and no penalty fees for yearly settlement. Islamic finance emphasizes financial inclusion. As stated earlier, Islamic finance also need to comply with Sharia laws. This means it is free from unethical elements including riba, that is bothersome, double interest rates, borrower, that is fraud, and also bad practice such as maisir, that is gambling, and zulm, that is immoral practice. Thus, the absence of these elements in Islamic finance make it fairer and easier to use by all walks of life, especially for the low-income group. This is the concept called financial inclusion according to the World Bank. According to the World Bank, financial inclusion can help develop the local and global economy even more rapidly. That's all for me. Thank you.